There's a quiet sorrow that settles over us when we lose someone we feel we've known forever, isn't there? Especially when it happens too soon, when they're still in the prime of their lives, still gracing our screens and filling our homes with laughter or drama. It feels like we're losing an entire generation of icons, the very stars who defined our prime time shows and blockbuster movies from the 90s and early 2000s. Each passing felt sudden, confusing, and often it left us with more questions than answers. Today we delve into some of those untold stories, the declassified details behind the headlines, revealing the hidden battles and the surprising truths that shaped their final hours. We begin with a name that, for many, became synonymous with a profound, televised loss, yet whose real story holds an entirely different, perhaps even more poignant truth. For years, the name Eric Dane was inextricably linked to a certain kind of charisma, a swagger and charm that made him a household name. He burst onto our screens as Dr. Mark Sloan, or McSteamy, on the medical phenomenon Grey's Anatomy. With his piercing blue eyes and undeniable presence, he was the kind of doctor who made hearts flutter, both on screen and in living rooms across America. He embodied the confident, almost arrogant plastic surgeon, a man who could seemingly fix anything, from a broken nose to a broken heart. His rise to fame was swift, cementing his status as a television heartthrob and a pivotal part of one of the most beloved dramas of its era. His character was a fixture, a central pillar in the emotional landscape of Seattle Grace Hospital, navigating complex relationships and life or death situations with equal parts skill and a smile. He was, to many, the picture of health and vitality, a man who seemed to have it all, and whose on-screen presence was a comforting, if sometimes dramatic, constant in our weekly routines. Then came the plane crash, a pivotal moment in the show's 9 seasons. The crash left Dr. Sloan with devastating internal injuries. We watched, glued to our screens, as his character fought valiantly, experiencing a brief, deceptive period of recovery, a post-traumatic surge, as the medical drama explained it, before succumbing. His death, in Season 9, Episode 2, was a gut-wrenching blow, leaving millions of fans in mourning. It was a tragic, televised medical event, and for a startling number of people, the line between character and actor blurred. There were widespread reports, a wave of confusion, and genuine grief for the man himself, Eric Dane, as if he had truly passed away. It was a testament to his powerful portrayal, a moment where fiction bled into reality for the public consciousness. But here's the declassified truth, the part of the story that remained largely unseen and unheard by those who grieved for McSteamy. While the world was fixated on the fictional trauma of Dr. Sloan's spectacular death, the actor Eric Dane was engaged in a private and very real medical battle of his own. Public statements later confirmed he was diagnosed with and treated for skin cancer after noticing a malignant lesion. Think about that for a second. You know, it's hard to imagine now how many times an actor has to put on a brave face, not just for the cameras, but for themselves, while facing their own struggles. The profound irony is one for the history books. A man who became a household name playing a brilliant plastic surgeon, a master of the physical form, a fixer of outward appearances, was forced to confront his own physical vulnerability in the most serious way. The audience grieved for a fictional doctor who couldn't be saved, a character lost to a plane crash, completely unaware that the real man they were watching was confronting his own mortality off-screen, not from a dramatic accident, but from a cellular betrayal. The story wasn't that Eric Dane died. It's that while his character's death made him a legend, his own private battle for life made him a survivor. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, how often our heroes are fighting battles we know nothing about. From the fictional sorrow surrounding Eric Dane, we turn to a very real and deeply personal tragedy that unfolded in the private life of a man who brought so much laughter to millions. Matthew Perry, forever etched in our hearts as Chandler Bing from Friends, had a unique way of making us feel like he was, well, our friend. His quick wit, his sarcastic charm, his vulnerability. He was the voice of a generation, navigating the awkwardness of young adulthood and the complexities of friendship with a relatable, self-deprecating humor. For 10 seasons, we gathered around our televisions year after year, watching him grow, stumble, and eventually find his footing, his love, his happiness. His career was a testament to comedic timing and emotional depth, making him one of the most beloved figures in primetime television history. Yet beneath the surface of the charismatic star lay a profound and lifelong struggle, a relentless battle with personal demons that he courageously brought into the light in his later years. He spoke openly, unflinchingly, about his decades-long fight against the grip of addiction, detailing the countless treatments, the moments of despair, and the fleeting glimpses of hope. He wasn't just a survivor, he became an advocate, dedicating his final years to helping others navigate the treacherous path he knew so well. He poured his heart into his memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, hoping his raw honesty would serve as a beacon for those lost in similar shadows. He wanted his legacy to be one of empathy, understanding, and the unwavering belief in recovery. He was a man who understood the hidden pressures of fame and the isolating nature of his personal struggle, and he chose to use his platform to break the silence for others. The world waited with bated breath when news of his passing broke. The initial reports were clean, simple, almost too simple. But now, the case file is open, the official documents are in. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's report is unequivocal. The acute effects of ketamine. This was the primary cause. Contributing factors were a grim roll call of a life lived hard. Drowning, coronary artery disease, and the effects of buprenorphine, a medication used to treat opioid addiction. The mystery wasn't if he died, but how the very tools of his recovery could be present at his demise. The declassified finding reveals a devastating detail. The ketamine in his system at the time of death could not have been from his last known therapy session, which was over a week prior. This points to a final, private struggle, turning a tool of healing into the agent of his death. The man who made his battle so public died in a moment of utter privacy. The ultimate, cruel irony is found on every page of his own book. Matthew Perry dedicated his final years to becoming a beacon for the addicted, publishing Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing to demystify the disease and offer hope. In the end, he was claimed by the same big terrible thing he fought to expose, and his death became a final, tragic chapter in the very book he hoped would save others. It's a reminder that even the strongest among us can be vulnerable, and that the fight against our inner demons is often a lifelong one. From the deeply personal battles fought in the quiet moments of life, we shift our gaze to a different kind of hidden war. One waged on the grandest stage, beneath the brightest spotlights. Chadwick Boseman, a name that now resonates with strength, dignity, and heroism, rose to prominence not just as an actor, but as an icon. He brought historical figures like Jackie Robinson and James Brown to vivid, electrifying life, embodying their spirits with a rare grace and power. But it was his portrayal of King T'Challa, the Black Panther, that cemented his place in cinematic history and in the hearts of millions around the globe. He was a symbol of hope, a powerful monarch, and a hero who seemed invincible, inspiring countless young people to see themselves reflected in his strength and nobility. His performances were not just acting, they were transformations, infused with a gravitas and commitment that elevated every project he touched. He was at the zenith of his career, a global phenomenon, a true star. Yet the declassified truth reveals a harrowing secret, a profound hidden pressure that would define his final years. The official report reads, complications related to colon cancer. But the secret, guarded by a select few, is that Boseman was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2016. He waged a silent 4-year war while at the peak of his global fame. The files reveal a chilling link that was hidden in plain sight. The timeline of his private battle maps directly onto the timeline of his public triumphs. While he was undergoing what his family later called countless surgeries and chemotherapy, he was on set, filming physically demanding roles in Marshall, Day 5 Bloods, and embodying the superhuman strength of King T'Challa in Black Panther, Infinity War, and Endgame. The world saw a hero rising. The medical records show a man fighting for his life, enduring grueling treatments and the physical toll of his illness, all while delivering performances that required immense physical and emotional fortitude. His final days were not a slow decline, but a continuation of this incredibly brave, incredibly private struggle. He continued to work, to create, to inspire, even as his body was failing him. He filmed his last movie, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, enduring immense pain, a testament to his unwavering dedication to his craft and his commitment to leaving a legacy. He passed away in 2020, leaving the world stunned and heartbroken, realizing only then the incredible burden he had carried with such grace. The final, gut-wrenching irony is etched into his most iconic role. He gave the world King T'Challa, a powerful monarch and a symbol of enduring black strength, a hero who could withstand any blow. The secret, the performance behind the performance, is that this monument to invincibility was built by a man who was, in his own words, in and out of surgery and chemo. He became the symbol of strength the world needed, while privately enduring the very fragility he conquered on screen. It truly makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often we truly appreciate our heroes while they are still walking among us, silently fighting battles we cannot see. From the quiet dignity of a hidden illness, we turn to a tragedy that was as baffling as it was heartbreaking. The sudden, unexpected passing of a man who was, to many, America's dad. Bob Saget's journey to stardom was multifaceted. He first captured our hearts as Danny Tanner on Full House, the quintessential wholesome, widowed father, navigating the joys and challenges of raising 3 girls with warmth, humor, and an endless supply of life lessons. He became a comforting presence in our living rooms every week, a symbol of family values and unconditional love. But beneath that squeaky clean image, Saget harbored a secret comedic identity, a hilariously raunchy stand-up comedian whose material was a stark contrast to his prime-time persona. He juggled these two worlds with remarkable dexterity, earning respect for his versatility and his unwavering commitment to making people laugh, whether it was with a G-rated hug or an R-rated punchline. The hidden pressures of maintaining such disparate public images while navigating the demanding world of entertainment are immense. Yet, Saget always seemed to do it with a smile, his genuine kindness shining through. His later career saw a resurgence with successful stand-up tours and new television projects, allowing him to embrace both sides of his comedic coin. He was a tireless performer, always on the road, always connecting with audiences, fueled by a desire to bring joy and laughter, especially after enduring profound personal losses in his own life. He was a man who understood grief and who believed in the healing power of humor, even in the darkest times. Case file SCNS G-01092. 2. Declassified. The initial speculation of a stroke or heart attack was a smokescreen for a far more jarring reality. The declassified autopsy report revealed the true cause: catastrophic blunt force trauma to the head. Specifically, a subgaleal hemorrhage, subarachnoid hemorrhage, and subdural hematoma with a comminuted fracture of the posterior skull. He suffered an impact so severe it was likened by medical examiners to being struck with a baseball bat or falling from a significant height. The secret is not who did it, but that it happened at all, unwitnessed and unsurvived, from what was likely a simple, accidental fall. The tragic link is this chilling disconnect, a fatal injury presenting as a trivial event, a medical mystery hiding in plain sight. Saget was lucid enough to tidy his room and get into bed, completely unaware that his brain was bleeding uncontrollably. The ultimate cruel irony lies in his final hours. Bob Saget had just come from the stage, basking in the love of a standing ovation, a man defined by connection and laughter. He then entered an empty hotel room and died utterly alone. The man known as America's Dad, a symbol of familial comfort and safety, succumbed not to the gentle decline of old age, but to a solitary, violent, and baffling accident. The final punchline of his life was a tragedy that made no sense, leaving us all to grapple with the unpredictable fragility of existence. From the bewildering circumstances of an accidental fall, we moved to another sudden, devastating event. A medical crisis that robbed us of a true 90s icon. Luke Perry, with his brooding good looks and rebellious spirit, became an instant sensation as Dylan McKay on Beverly Hills 90210. He was the bad boy with a heart of gold, the James Dean of his generation, and his presence made the show appointment viewing for millions of teenagers and young adults. He embodied a cool confidence, a quiet intensity that was both alluring and deeply empathetic. For years, he was a fixture on our screens, transitioning from teen idol to respected character actor, always bringing a genuine authenticity to his roles. His career spanned decades, evolving from the iconic high school heartthrob to a beloved father figure on the hit series Riverdale, proving his enduring appeal and talent. The hidden pressures of being a teen idol, of having your image scrutinized and your life played out in public, are immense. Yet, Perry navigated it with a quiet grace, always seeming grounded and authentic. He matured into a dependable presence, a working actor who found joy in his craft and in his family. He was a man who seemed to defy time, maintaining a rugged, youthful energy even as he embraced more seasoned roles. He was an icon of resilience, a seemingly unbreakable figure who projected strength and endurance, both on and off the screen. He was one of those actors you just expected to see for many more years, a comforting presence in an ever-changing Hollywood landscape. Then, on a seemingly ordinary day in late February of 2019, the world received shocking news. Luke Perry suffered a massive ischemic stroke. The public record states massive ischemic stroke, but the declassified files reveal the brutal finality of the diagnosis. This wasn't a warning shot. It was a medically unsalvageable event. After the initial cerebrovascular accident, Perry was placed in a medically induced coma. The secret isn't a conspiracy, it's a chilling medical reality. The damage was so catastrophic and widespread upon arrival that neurological recovery was deemed impossible. The 5 days that followed were not a fight for his life, but a medically managed procedure to allow family to assemble before the inevitable withdrawal of life support. The mystery was over the moment the clot lodged in his brain. The ultimate irony is one of image versus biology. Perry was an icon of rugged, blue-collar resilience. He was the seemingly unbreakable teen idol who aged into a dependable, fatherly figure on Riverdale. He represented physical strength and endurance, yet his end came not from an external force, but a silent internal betrayal by his own body at only 52. The man who projected an image of timeless vitality was abruptly and completely undone by a common, yet devastating, vascular failure, proving that on-screen immortality offers no defense against mortal biology. From the sudden, silent betrayal of the body, we turn to another star, whose passing left us with a lingering sense of loss and unanswered questions. Ray Liotta. For decades, Liotta carved out a unique niche in Hollywood, specializing in intense, volatile characters who often walked the line between hero and villain. His piercing blue eyes and distinctive voice commanded attention, whether he was playing shoeless Joe Jackson in Field of Dreams, or the unforgettable Henry Hill in Goodfellas. He had an electrifying screen presence, an ability to convey both danger and vulnerability in equal measure. His performances were raw, visceral, and utterly captivating, making him a beloved figure even when playing characters we loved to hate. He was a true craftsman, dedicated to his art, and his career was marked by memorable roles that showcased his incredible range and unwavering commitment. Despite his formidable on-screen presence, Liotta was known to be a private man off-screen. The hidden pressures of his demanding roles, often requiring him to delve into dark emotional territories, must have been immense. Yet, he always seemed to emerge, ready for the next challenge, consistently delivering powerful performances. In his later years, he experienced a remarkable career resurgence, a Liotta-sance, as it was affectionately called, with acclaimed roles in films and television series, proving that his talent was as potent as ever. He was working, thriving, and receiving the recognition he so richly deserved, seemingly enjoying a vibrant and active period in his life and career. He was on location, filming, when tragedy struck. Classified, deceased, status, case file unsealed. For nearly a year, the official story was a simple, quiet headline. Ray Liotta died in his sleep, but the why remained a closely guarded secret, a file locked away in the Dominican Republic. Now the declassified documents are in. The report reveals a catastrophic internal failure. The primary cause: pulmonary edema. His lungs were overcome with fluid. This was triggered by acute heart failure. The silent antagonist that had been stalking him for years: severe atherosclerosis. It wasn't a peaceful fading away. It was a sudden, systemic shutdown of his heart and respiratory systems, a battle he lost while the world thought he was simply resting. The tragic link is the chasm between public perception and the hidden medical reality. The secret wasn't a lurid conspiracy, but a clinical truth, a common but deadly cardiovascular condition, concealed by jurisdictional delays. Like the others, his sudden passing created a vacuum of information, filled with speculation. His story is a chilling example of how a star can be in the midst of a career resurgence, seemingly vibrant and active, while their body is secretly approaching a critical breaking point. The public sees the star. The autopsy reveals the patient. The supreme, almost cinematic irony is this: Ray Liotta immortalized himself playing intense, volatile characters who often met violent, operatic ends. They were men whose deaths were loud, bloody, and dramatic. Yet his own exit was the polar opposite. It wasn't a gangster's bullet or a dramatic betrayal that took him down. It was a silent internal collapse from a condition that afflicts millions. The man who mastered the on-screen explosion died in the quietest way possible, a victim of his own human biology, just as his career was experiencing a celebrated Liotta-sance. The world was finally ready to give him his flowers, but his heart tragically was not. The stories of these 5 remarkable individuals, Eric Dane, Matthew Perry, Chadwick Boseman, Bob Saget, and Ray Liotta, serve as poignant reminders of the hidden complexities behind the public personas we admire. Whether it was a fictional death that stirred real emotion, a private battle with personal demons, a heroic fight against a silent illness, a baffling accident, or a quiet internal medical betrayal, each story underscores the fragile dance between life and mortality. They were stars who shone brightly, bringing joy, drama, and inspiration into our lives. And in their unexpected departures, they left us with questions, with sorrow, and with the enduring power of their legacies. Their stories remind us that even our heroes, the figures we see as larger than life, are ultimately human, facing their own struggles and vulnerabilities. Take care of yourselves and hold your loved ones close. Memory is the only thing that truly lasts forever.